Alright everybody, hello and welcome to what is going to be a first look at the game Autonauts with me, Spacefish. Now I've kind of been looking around for maybe some new games to the channel for a while now, and Autonauts was actually something that Darkrone, who is like a longer term channel viewer and also a mod in my Twitch chat, a few of you may already know him, has suggested to me a while ago, and I kind of looked at it and I really liked it. I'm not sure if this will ever turn into like a full series or something, but you all may very much remember that a while ago I actually shuffled free that Saturday afternoon slot, which I already mentioned like a while ago that I was going to use for more of these dynamic videos where I can just, maybe upload some Twitch highlights every now and again, or maybe some first looks at some games for the channel, and this is going to be the very first one of them. So the goal of today's episode is really just to get ourselves into the game a bit, see what it's all about, see if it may be fun, and see if you guys may fancy a more longer, proper series on this game. So, let's kind of get into it. So for a quick start, Autonauts is really all about, as the name already said, or says rather, automation. Like kind of, pretty much the idea is that you go around the universe, like, automating stuff on planets to kind of get things underway, to get things automated, just for the sole purpose of actually getting something going on these planets, as far as I've kind of understood it. So, I feel it's going to be a bit like of this crafting, survival sort of mix, but also with a bit of that good company kind of automation tycoon vibe in there as well. So maybe a bit like connected to something like Satisfactory or something like that. That's kind of sort of what I'm expecting from this game. I've kind of not really super crazily looked into every nook and cranny of this game yet though, because I really kind of want to more take the chance to explore these games together with you guys, as opposed to me already knowing every in and out of the game. I think that just makes it a little bit more interesting. So with that said, let's hit new game, let's get ourselves into one, and let's see what this is all about, and if you and me actually enjoy this. So let's go. That seems to be us right there. Did we just have a license plate on that spaceship? That was interesting. Okay, so we can colonize, we can go free, and we can go creative. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between colonize and free. It does say in the bottom right corner, meet official targets and unlock new technology along the way. All technology unlocked from... Oh no, that sounds a bit boring. I want to go for colonize then. Okay, so this is our planet, Coloxlo, and here is apparently the seed for all those of you that want to go for the same kind of seed as me, that want to, actually get the game and try this out yourselves if you want the same map as me. There is your seed. So, what do I have down here? Okay, I can record the game for higher speed playback. I don't need that, I'm already recording it. That should be fine. We can toggle the size of the planet. Okay, so this is a small planet. This is a usual planet. Okay. Now we've got scan results up here, and I've got no clue what you want from a planet, so I'm not sure. I guess we're just gonna roll with it. Can we rename this? Oh. Huh. Now I've got no clue what would be a great planet name or something. Okay, we'll think about that in a second. But this, so we've got stone deposits, clay deposits out here. We've got rich metal ore deposits, which seem to be pretty far out from where we're landing. Okay, we've got, of course, fresh water. We've got seawater as well. Swamps and sand seem to be more like topological things. And you've got, of course, trees. Cereal crop. Cotton crop. Okay, so that's about that. That sounds very interesting for a start. And what kind of name do I pick for the planet? Let me think about it for a second. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, I'm back. I've kind of thought back and forth a bit, and very few of you actually may know that, but I do own Star Citizen myself, and I do play it every now and again. I don't think it's really anything for a serious, or anything more serious on like Twitch or anything at the moment, just given that it's still very much in development, and I'm not even sure if things are persistent yet in that game, so... anyways, though, I do kind of like that game. I like where it's going, and obviously I'm following along with the development and stuff, and there is a few planets out there. Arc planet, yeah. And one of them is kind of classed as a super Earth, if that makes sense, and it's called ArcCorp, and we're just gonna call this planet ArcCorp as well. I think that's fine. Not the most creative thing in the world, but I hope you guys are happy with that. You know, if we can rename it after the fact, I'll be happy for you guys to help me renaming it, but I don't think so. That said, I think I'm just gonna go with the default landing zone here, probably. I feel there's probably more optimal zones, but given that I don't have a clue of what is what and what do I need, I'm just gonna go with this. Let's get into the game. And that was a license plate on the spaceship, wasn't it? Kind of felt like it. Approaching planet. I really have to say this once again, by the way. And we do have a license plate. Okay. Welcome. I'm Otto here to prepare for your life as an Autonaut. Okay, that's awesome. But just before we start, I have to say, what I already like about this game, and what I kind of instantly liked when I saw this game, was the graphic style. I think as with other games, such as like Good Company or Little Big Workshop. Alright everyone, so very unfortunately here, it seems that for some reason my microphone decided to fail. I am kind of thinking it's unfortunately been the USB cable kind of falling out from the back of the microphone, because sometimes somehow it doesn't really quite clunk in that perfectly, so really sorry for that. That's of course very unfortunate, especially on a first impressions video, but I'm gonna try and catch up with you guys on my first impressions here as good as possible. And there's also a second video coming hopefully very soon after this one, which is kind of like my continued first impressions, and that will actually feature audio, so it only cut out on this part of this first video. Now, what I was talking about there with AAA graphics and everything, and Good Company and Little Big Workshop, of course, was that I also kind of wanted to mention for this game is that I feel that kind of you don't always need those AAA graphics, you know, just like these cute, interesting new sorts of graphic styles that some of these games use, which I think Autonauts is doing a pretty decent job at as well. That's just very unique, and that already makes the game look good in its own ways, and you don't always need the AAA graphics for that. Now, as you can see here, I'm sort of making my first steps into the game, just kind of being taught how to move, how to do things, and, well, how to turn the camera, all these basic things that are not really all that interesting. And we've already encountered our first bug. What do I say? That was a very quick first bug encounter. I've unfortunately had a bit of an issue here, because as you can see right there, I'm supposed to move to that spot right to the left of my, or below my character right there, and it's just not working. And of course I can't move there, because it's like, there is the sea right there, and I can't swim apparently, so that tutorial part is kind of unfortunately very bugged out for me, and as you can see, it doesn't work. If I now leave the tutorial will just bug out, and, well, no, it won't bug out, but it won't continue, right? I'll just be left to myself, and that's about it, and I'll have no clue of what to do, and yeah, that's of course a big issue. I keep going back and forth here a bit, and I really try and somehow fix it, but as you can see, it just doesn't work, and kind of like the way that tutorial works in combination with a spawn point, unfortunately then, does end up breaking it for me. So we hop right back out. We do unfortunately have to end up making a new game, so here is then the new seed for everyone that is interested. You will be able to see that right there, and we'll just call it ArcCorp again, and we'll just this time try and pick a spawn point where, you know, we're maybe not that close to the sea, and, well, fingers crossed that it'll work this time then. But I don't want to bore you all too much with this, so hitting start right into the game. And well, did you all, by the way, notice that we have a license plate on our spaceship? Very interesting part right there. You can see it right here again. But yeah, so same thing all over. Not really as much has happened thus far due to that little first bug, you know. Same little intro, same little move the camera, move myself kind of tutorial with that little explain button. Now, as you can see, we're at this moving tutorial again, and luckily, thanks to us picking a better spawn point, we don't have these issues anymore. So, well, had to change the seed through that, but other than that, we are in the game now. So, basics then. We have to start by picking up a stone. So we're just being taught how to like pick up the objects and how to drop objects and how the inventory works and everything. So pretty interesting, just basic stuff right here. We, well, firstly need to pick up that stone, of course, and then what do we do next? We have it in the backpack right there. So as you can see right there, we can hit Q to put an item into our backpack, and that's actually an interesting concept right here, because you can only ever hold one type of item in your inventory, well, in your hands on the left there, right? So you've got 4 hands for whatever reason, because I can only see 2, but you can hold 4 things in your hands, and you can move things over into your backpack, but I do think that it's only ever one type of item. I've never had multiple in there at once, and I don't think it's possible. So if you have like a tool, you can move the tool over to the backpack, for example. You can grab like logs or whatever, and then once you've dropped the logs, you can kind of pick up the tool from your backpack again, if that makes sense. So kind of a bit limited in terms of inventory, but I think that's fine, you know. That's kind of also what limits you in terms of you not being able to do all the stuff yourself and having to do a lot of automation later. But as you can see, we're just going through the basic tutorial right now. So checking out, of course, what we need to do with the stone. We've got a basic chopping tool now from the stone. Now we're being taught how to chop down a tree. And look at these cute graphics. I think like the overall, the way that looks, the way these animations look, I think is pretty cool. And like the sounds and everything associated, I have to say it somewhat slightly reminds me of the game Cube World, if you all know that game. It's been a great game. Honestly, I really enjoyed playing it, but unfortunately, like, development on it kind of stopped. I never really went anywhere after the first publishing, and it was a great game back then. It's certainly still a great game back right now, but it's unfortunately not evolving much at all. But if you know that game, I think you may know what I'm talking about. That's kind of slightly just what the graphic style reminds me of, and like the whole animations and everything, and I do like it. I do like that approach. But with that said, moving on now, we are making our first little workbench, just kind of trying to figure out now where I should place that, because you see these in and out arrows right there, and I'm wondering if there's like any conveyors maybe or something that I need to attach there later, and if I need to thus kind of place it in a certain orientation. But I just decided to plunk it down to get on with it, and well, now we've got our first log. We do move over there. And we do, of course, need a stick as well to actually be able to go and finish that workbench. And now, seems like we need some stones too, so we're going to grab those, or actually chop down another log. How many logs do you need for one workbench? Absolutely crazy. Get that one plunked right down, and then, of course, you know, if you've got that little inventory thingy, again, which I just need to get used to. I think I'm just slightly confused there why I can't pick things up, and then I'm like, oh yeah, right, I've got a stone in the inventory. But there we go, got another log, carrying that over all the way to that workbench right there. Yes, click it please. Yeah, I think that initially confused me as well, because for some things you have to left click to drop, you have to right click to pick up, and I always kind of confuse what it is. But there we go, simple workshop is done, and with that, as our little tutorial bot down there says, we can make some basic tools, so you can have access. You'll later have shovels, and you'll have picks, and that way you can take care of the first few things. So first thing, of course, we start out with an axe, so we can chop down some more trees, hopefully also a bit quicker. And what it also allows us to do is actually making planks and poles, which I'm sure we will be shown right here in a second as well. So first tool right there. I'm apparently just rambling on about other things right now, but so far I think it's all been pretty straightforward, really not all too complicated. Now, of course, I'm getting a first few another goals, you know, chopping down a log, making some planks that way. As I just said, that is now a possibility, and we're just going to try that out on this new tree, which is going to be our next victim. As you can see, already working away very nicely at cutting down the whole forest down there within like the first 5 minutes on the planet, so certainly not really having a good effect on the environment right here, but you know, I think we've got some ways of balancing that out later, I think. That said, first few things done. Log chopped down, poles made, planks made, all that good stuff. So now we want to expand the workshop. We want a new structure, got a new blueprint thanks to that achievement, and it is already a bot assembly unit, which was quite surprising to me, because it was literally like us actually effectively playing the game for 5 minutes and we've already got a bot assembly, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty quick, you know, it's satisfactory for a comparison. I mean, you just go on and on and on, actually doing things manually for pretty darn long before you go and automate more things. But anyways, moving on like that then, we're placing the bot assembly right up there, and then of course we do need a bunch of things for that. We'll have to chop down a few more trees, and as you can see, it's becoming ever less and ever less, but you can see right there we also do get tree seeds, so we can eventually use those to plant them. I actually try it here. I'm like, yeah, okay, I mean, this must work like in Minecraft, right? You just pick up the tree seed, you right-click the ground, and you've got a new tree growing, but no, that's not how it works. We'll see how it works later on. For the time being, we'll just carry on with assembling this bot assembly unit. And as you can see, I mean, it does need quite a few logs. You can only ever carry one log at once, so you having those 4 slots down below in your inventory doesn't mean that you can also carry 4 of each item. You can, for example, only carry 1 log, but in contrast, for example, for planks, you can actually carry up to 4 at once. So that's always kind of dependent, and I think it does make sense that, you know, you're probably not Hercules, you can't carry like 3 logs on top of each other. Even just being able to carry 1, to be honest, is probably a bit excessive, but you know, gotta get that going somehow. Now, there we go. Bot Workshop is my gateway to automation. And it's going to be very interesting. So we are now, of course, tasked with making our first basic bot, for which we need a few things, and it's always going to be the same recipe. We only do have basic bots so far. I'm kind of suspecting there'll probably be more later on, and I'm not going to spoil it just yet what is the difference probably between those, but I'm thinking there will probably be more advanced ones. For a start though, I think they are already pretty good. So of course, we go out, chop down a lot of trees, because we do need them all to make our next few, or our first few bots actually. And you can already see up there the next task being bots recharge, and that's actually an interesting one. I don't know if that's like this all the way, to be honest, but what I have observed so far, after almost accidentally chopping down the log that we needed to build the bot, but what I've kind of observed so far with these first few bots is that you kind of just mechanically wind them up, like, I don't know, a watch on your wrist or something. It's a very interesting principle. I'm kind of wondering if later iterations of bot will kind of need some sort of alternate power, like, I don't know, having them electrically powered and they need to go back and recharge themselves, or using coal or some sort of thing like that. Very interesting to me, but for the time being, with the way that this works, as you can see right here, I mean, we've got our first bot now actually made. You go to the bot, you right click him, you charge him up, you wind him up, and well, there you go. Autonauts assemble. That's about that. So, interesting concept right there, most certainly. And, well, that said, you know, me rambling on again about, oh, you know, our first bot, yeah, kind of interesting little guy. You know, you see he's got like one hand down there, so you can of course give them tools, assign tasks to them, program them to kind of repetitively do things. That's kind of the idea, of course, behind these, and that's a little like our little first step into automation right there. And as our little helper says right there, we're ready to start automating. So first things first, what we're actually being tasked with here is making our first tool for the bot. So we need to make him a crude axe so we can actually tell him what to do, and he then has a tool to actually do things with. Now we pick it up and we right click on the bot to give him that axe. And then, you know, prepare to follow my instructions exactly. We actually start by hitting space to blow my whistle, and then, you know, you get the attention of all the bots around you, basically. So we'll see that just in a second when I actually hit that button. Right, here? There we go. Okay, and you can see, you know, all the bots in the vicinity kind of react to me. I can select a bot, and here's my bot brain, and that's kind of where I program the bot. So the way that this whole thing works, and I thought it was really kind of interesting, and a very interesting concept, right, is you go and hit record, and you kind of just go and do something. The bot observes what you do. It kind of builds actions from that for itself, and that's then kind of being programmed into him. So it's kind of very interesting, because it's like really a little bit of programming inside the game. Now, it's of course not you sitting down for like 20 years and punching code into there, but you do have some basics, right? Like the repeat and exit repeat, and if else, wait. So there's like a few interesting basics, and you can see it right here. So I go to the tree, I chop it down. Now it builds up their little logic of find the nearest tree in this predefined area, move to the tree, and use the axe. And then I just hit repeat, and can say like repeat forever, repeat so and so many times, and that's that. He just keeps doing it. So I thought that was very interesting. Now I'm trying to change things about a bit here, but you can see that doesn't work too well for me just now, so I'm getting kind of a bit confused, but this will get explained to us at a later point. So luckily we'll be able to fix that. For the time being, I'm leaving it as is because I just couldn't find out right there, so I didn't want to bore you all with that. But yeah, so first automation won't stop until it runs out of trees, which, if you can see right there already, we've kind of already run out of trees by just chopping them down one after another to actually expand our base and make some tools and build some bots. So we will definitely need some more, but as you can see, tree has grown, and there goes the bot chopping down the tree, and we've got a new log. And now he waits because of course he doesn't have anything else to do, but I thought that was really pretty interesting. So next task is actually to make ourselves yet another bot. So that'll mean that we will need like another log, a few planks, a bit of poles. So we'll go and grab that all, put it all together, and yeah, just make another one of these. Now, yeah, I mean, I think I'm currently kind of talking about, you know, we don't have any more trees. How do I even keep doing this? But, well, that will hopefully get fixed for us very, very soon. That said, I'm just going to go out here and try and pick up some things that we need for the bot now and kind of, well, gather everything. There you see it again, like my little bit of an issue with actually mixing up the left click and the right click. As I always keep telling you all, I mean, I'm playing so many games on this channel, you know, switching back and forth so often that at some point it always just kind of becomes a bit hard keeping track of all the controls, you know. In one game, the buttons for turning a thing are Q and E, and another game it's like M and N, and another game it's like dot and colon. It's always a big back and forth, so if I ever, you know, forget about some commands, just bear with me there. I know it's maybe sometimes a bit annoying to watch, but it's just because there are so many different ones out there for me. But that said, we've now got the next spot done. Gonna go and recharge that, and we've got the second bot ready to teach. Now that's of course for a bit of a different task this time around, because, well, as you may be able to tell, we will need to go and regrow some trees so that the bots operate at a proper efficiency. So that is our next task right here. We've got a new blueprint for a crude space, which we can make at our workbench, and we're going to take care of that right away. And of course, we do yet again need a stone, need a stick, kind of, you know, Minecraft style, nothing really special right there. And I also kind of always find it kind of funny, you can't see it right here, but I also always think it's kind of funny how we assemble things, right? If you pay close attention right there, you always hop up and down on everything that you kind of stacked up in a workbench. I think it's always quite hilarious the way that that looks, and I think it's a pretty cool idea. It's somewhat a bit unique, and I do really somewhat like it. But yeah, so now we of course go to the new bots, we tell them, you know, record, watch me, see what I'm doing, and we now just need to walk to the spot, we go and dig up a hole, and, well, he follows what we're doing, and, you know, predefined region, we tell him to repeat, that's about it. Now, same thing again here, of course, with the squares, and now we are actually being told here how to edit these. So we are going to try that. We're going to go to edit right here, and then you can actually grab the corners. I thought I had tried it before here, but for some reason it didn't work as intended the first time. Now you can see right here that we're at a 7x7 field. I think you can actually expand that by a good bit. Yeah, there's the max area. Of course, we don't want to dig up everything where we've got our workbenches and stuff, so I go back down here pretty soon, I think. But as you can see, we've also got a little bit of an unexplored area down below, which I think I end up using at the very end to actually do this properly. And, you know, as I say, I don't want this green stuff to be dug up, and I don't think that we can actually grow trees there. I think we need the actual soil, like not just grass, but we need actual soil, I think, to actually be able to grow trees in there. And as you can see, us not having scouted out that lower part is a bit of an issue, because that means that we can't actually move the square downwards, but I at least, you know, adjust it to only cover the soil parts of the area right now. And, well, seem to be pretty happy with it. Now, I'm kind of confused what I'm doing here, probably just, you know, talking to my little bot, but we go and confirm that. We've got the repeat in there already. We need to hand the bot the spade, and, well, we just click play, and he can just keep going, digging up holes forever, and there he goes, making those nice little holes for us to hopefully plant some new trees in the future. And yeah, our little helper says as well, you've automated your first industry, basic forestry, let's make another bot and teach it to plant tree seeds to make the operation sustainable. And that's of course what we were looking for, because we are really running low on supplied logs. As you can see, that other bot's basically been idling for like the last 20 bajillion years. I'm gonna go here and edit the area in which he actually chops down trees, so he grabs that other one too for me, and so it's also kind of adjusted to the area that the first bot works on. I mean, I guess that does make a bunch of sense, but I need to actually make him fully stop so I can edit that area, which I think is maybe a bit annoying. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm feeling you should just be able to edit the area on the go, but maybe that's just due down to some game constraints that doesn't work. But with that said, we are recording, we are changing the area, and he will go and chop down that on top log for us, which we will very dearly need, because as you can see up there, I've only got a log, and that's about it. I definitely badly need some more materials right here, so we can make sure to get that extra bot too. So I mean, we've got a tree seed, you know, we can chop down that one log to actually go and get ourselves, well, some more planks and stuff, but I didn't actually mean to pick it up. I just didn't notice I had my axe in the inventory right there. But as you can see, we're going to go and pick up those 2 planks too, and then we're out of wood again already. So you can kind of see the constraints here. We just badly need a bot that actually plants tree seeds. But finally, I actually go down there and explore, and look at this. Glorious. More trees to chop down. Definitely very good to have. Well, I think I go right to work myself here, or do I actually tell the bot to do it? I choose to pick up a tree seed accidentally. But there we go. We just go to work ourselves for the time being, because we badly need those logs, so I may as well just prepare those myself real quick, get myself some planks, get myself some poles to actually complete those bots, or this one bot at least with, so we can finally start replanting some seeds and more quickly regrowing some trees for our operations, so that we can have that wood flow in nice and continuously and have some proper supply up right there. And there we go. So our helper is happy, he wants to finish up setting up that forestry, and that is just what we do. He keeps telling me to do exactly what he does, and I mean, it makes sense, but we now show the bot how to, of course, plant trees. So we do pick up a tree seed, and we go and plant it, and we hop on that tree seed a bit, you know, to stomp it into the ground, and there we go. We've got a new tree growing right there. And, well, all the search areas, of course, determined. This one has 2 areas, actually, because it needs to find a tree seed in an area and then plant that tree seed in an area. So I need to define 2 areas right here, which I will make sure to define those according to the areas of the other bots. For the time being, I actually do it exactly spot on the wing that I have the other set up to, but I'm pretty sure that later on I end up extending the whole area downwards, because of course now we've kind of scouted out some new soil that we can use to grow and harvest trees in. But with that said, that does then already complete the tutorial on Autonauts. Now, that doesn't mean that's kind of the end to us being taught things, but it's kind of like the main introduction into how the game works. You know, we've got our first little forestry going, and now you can see already as well the Autonauts Academy, where, well, we'll sort of be guided along what are our next objectives in the game. Now, Academy Basics, for example, are done, and now we've got a new plan with First Forestry. And the way that this works is that as you go through these plans pretty much, and, well, finish the plans, you unlock new stuff like new blueprints, or I'm guessing new bots eventually, new tools, all that good stuff. So you can just kind of follow them along, check off some, like, things you have to do. Well, he's returning to the ship, but you check off some things that you have to do to kind of proceed in the game, and that way you learn more about the game, and at the same time you unlock cool new things. And you can see right there, one of my bots has actually run out of energy, so I need to go wind them up again. So you do need to keep a fair bit of an eye on that, and they do also seem to run out of energy rather quickly, so I hope that that is going to be better with the better bots later on. But yeah, so with that said, I think that is about a first impression of the game for us right there. I'm really sorry once more that my microphone cut out. I hope the way that I kind of post-recorded half of this episode, or maybe even 2/3, was fine for you all. I hope you all got a good impression of the game. Definitely let me know what you all think about it down below. I do certainly enjoy it a lot so far. The second episode will be landing on the channel ASAP as soon as I've got it ready, so make sure to look out for that as well, and then let me know what you think of that down below. But yeah, so this, you know, potential series to the channel, let me know what you think of the game down below, if you would like to see more videos on that. And with that said, I'm going to end it off right here. So as always, if you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to hit that like button right down below. That does always very much help out the channel. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below, as well as that bell icon right next to it, to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. With that said, thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.